Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This one is from user Deleted. My ex tried to cheat. It didn't work out for him though. After some time, my ex would sleep with his phone in his pocket. Weird red flag, but I never said anything. When I noticed he wouldn't even pull up his phone in front of me, I knew something was up. One night, it slipped out of his sweats and I woke up with it near my legs. I was just gonna put it on the charger, honestly, but I saw he had a bunch of notifications and messages from a dating app. Man, I wanted to slap him awake, but I didn't. So I created a profile using a friend of mine's pictures that he never met, and I had her approval. She was his type 100%, and I knew he loved blue eyes. So when we matched like I knew we would, we got to chatting. We talked for about a week before I suggested meeting up. Flirting, sexy stuff. He told her, me, that he was single and lived with a friend. So I suggested him paying for a hotel so we could F. He said he would. We picked a spot. Mind you, I paid for everything because he was unemployed after losing his job. He drained my savings account over the year with manipulation. "We're family, we take care of each other when we're in tough spots," he would say whenever I told him I didn't have extra money. I paid my student loans and bills of a one-bedroom and the food. This boy had the ballsack to ask me for money in person, that his mom's birthday was coming up and he wanted to buy her something nice. So I gave him $50, just because it was hilarious at this point. I still think about the smile on his face in that moment. That weekend, he left, said he was going to his mom's and that he'd probably stay the night. I kissed him goodbye and told him to have a great time. Then I packed all of his stuff and left it outside. I live in a US city, so it went fast. Got the locks changed. He messaged me a few times on the app. I told him I was running late because I wanted to look perfect, but I was coming and so sorry. My friend also sent me some sexy pictures to send him and didn't fully include her face. She's a real one. I even talked him into playing with himself and sending me a video. Then, after making him sit until about 1 AM, I messaged him on the dating app, sent him a picture of his belongings being rummaged through by a homeless man and told him to enjoy his stay in a hotel. As soon as my phone rang, I blocked his number and went to bed. He was outside my door the Monday I came home from work, ugly crying, begging, telling me he was homeless and had nowhere to go. When I wasn't having it, he got angry per usual. Once he started grabbing and trying to get into my apartment, I called the police. Filed a restraining order because he did threaten my life and my pets for putting him out. Found out he ended up moving a few hours away where his only family is and has a job. Hopefully, he learned something. It was as satisfying as it sounds. I hadn't realized how much I was being drained mentally in that year and a half. It was hard not being reactive in the moments, and I almost gave in a few times. But I think my approach was worth it in the end. It helped with confidence and learning my worth. He was mooching off me for so long as he could. Why wouldn't he have his cake and eat it too? I was wanting out of the abuse for a long time. I finally found a way that was safe for my situation. Opie, I have to say, bravo, you are epic. I mean, honestly, I probably would have confronted them right away and tell them to F off, kick them out of the house or something. But you had your fun. I mean, apparently he had abused you mentally and money-wise for a really long time already. Good for you for taking the power back. The way you catfished him was fantastic. I loved it. I loved the whole story. Thanks for sharing it with us. So on that note, and considering there is still a lot of time left in the video, let's continue to another post. This one's from user Bluer Eyes, learning to cope and reconcile. I'm male, by the way. I found out last week my wife of 6 years was cheating on me. She's been unemployed since the beginning of the health crisis. She has turned to gaming to pass the time. She has lots of online friends that she plays with in parties on Call of Duty. Oftentimes, she chats with them on Discord or Snapchat to coordinate times to get on the game. Most of her friends are girls, so I really didn't see anything wrong. Around November 2020, she had really started talking a lot to this specific girl. Text, Discord, Snapchat, FaceTime, 24/7. She had been acting very suspicious. Whenever I walked into our office, she would jump up quick and turn her phone off. She seemed annoyed when I'd be in there. I had a bad feeling in my gut, so I confronted her about it. She said her friend has depression, anxiety, lives in a toxic household, and has life-ending tendencies, and she was trying to be there for her. Seemed legit, but I still had a bad gut feeling. In December 2020, we went to a friend's house to celebrate New Year's. She spent the whole time on the phone or texting. Even my friends noticed she was acting strange. My wife is usually the life of the party. Again, she said she's helping her friend through depression, anxiety, and life-ending thoughts. A few days later, out of the blue, my wife asked if she could visit her friend who lives 20 hours away. I said no, and that she was out of her mind. This didn't sit right with me, so I decided to investigate. I knew all her passwords, so I checked her Discord and saw old messages between them. The overall conversation was kind of flirty. She had this girl under her contacts as a girlfriend in the notes. I checked her Google Photos and saw a screenshot from Snapchat. My wife asked if her girlfriend liked the nudes. There were more messages and it was obvious they were more than friends. I sent myself the photos and downloaded them. I signed into her Snapchat and changed the email and phone number. I read a few of the saved messages and I could feel a few of my blood vessels throbbing. She asked how did she like the nudes, that she just got done playing with herself thinking about her, lots of long sexual paragraphs depicting what they were going to do to each other when they meet up, how her girlfriend doesn't have to worry about me, how she's so in love with her. I confronted my wife about it. I showed her the messages. She was in shock and was blindsided about it, honestly. I read aloud some of the messages and she really didn't know how to react. She said sorry and started to cry. In the heat of the moment, I said I wanted a divorce. I told her to leave and go to her parents. I couldn't sleep that night. I stayed up and read every message. I felt foolish. I cried a lot. Thought about hurting myself. Thought about trying to ruin the girlfriend's life. I had her address and phone number. Felt alone because I didn't have anyone to talk to. I might be foolish, but deep down I still loved her. A few days later, I texted my wife and seeing if she still wanted to work things out. We texted for a few hours and we finally met. We talked, she admitted to what she did, she apologized repeatedly. I asked honestly if she wanted a divorce and she said no. I told her I'm hurt and it would take a while for me to trust her again. We are still trying to reconcile. It's been a few days and I still cry about it even at work. I still have all the messages and photos. I still spy on my wife. Things just aren't the same anymore. I can tell she's sad. She cried saying she can't look at me because she feels shameful. Just trying to learn how to cope. I needed to get this off my chest. Well, OP, getting cheated on is always tough and it's always difficult to come to terms with what your spouse is doing. Lying to you like that and just taking advantage of you, basically. In your case, I would say you also have the additional problem that she needs to figure out who she is by herself. Maybe go to counseling, couples counseling, or individual counseling, but she's got something that she needs to sort. If you guys truly want to reconcile, I would think that first she needs to deal with her sexuality and figure out where she's at. I would think it's very difficult to love somebody if you don't know who you are or what you're about. But being very honest with all of you, I'm just talking out of perception and my opinion might be very ignorant because I've never been in this position in particular, so it's kind of difficult to give a commentary on it. So how about we move on to the community comments to see if they can give OP a better perspective. Tercer78 says, are you 100% sure she has cut contact? Is she sadder about her shame or because she misses the other woman? Lots to unpack here. Don't rug sweep. Behaviors have to change. Crying isn't enough. Focus on your needs and emotions. OP responds, she blocked her on everything. I checked, but I have been monitoring. But if she does contact her, I will know. She's sad about the shame. She said she can't even look at me without feeling guilt. I'm trying. Kranok says, the problem is that you caught her and that she didn't come clean. That will make it difficult to trust her again. If you wouldn't have caught her, then it would still be going on right now and they wanted to meet. She needs to go to individual counseling to find out what is wrong with her. Why it was okay for her to give into an affair. Why she gave up on the marriage. She needs to learn to let go of the love she felt for the other woman. You need to accept that it might not work out with your wife. She destroyed your marriage and the trust will never again be like it was before. That can lead to permanent problems if you don't take care of that. Maybe marriage counseling can help, but you should only do that a while after she started individual counseling. Reconciliation takes years, and your wife needs to show you all the time that it is still you that she wants. She needs to be patient and absolute transparent in all she does. To be honest, the way your wife reacts right now sounds to me that she is more worried about her self-image than about your marriage. Maybe the reconciliation train has already left the station, but that is something you need to decide. MDG711 says, "This is a really awful thing that happened to you. If she didn't tell you before marriage she was bi and now this happens out of the blue, then it's a big problem. If you decide to stay and years later she decides she's gay, after kids, etc., that's something you can't compete with as a guy, you know. You need two big topics to talk about. One, her cheating, and two, her sexual preferences. Good luck, friend." Opie responds, "She has told me even before we got married, she was curious of what it would be like to be with a girl. I guess I should have saw that coming. I'm going to talk to her about it when I get home." Opie's edit. "I caught her on the phone with her girlfriend today. I kicked her out." Well, I guess OP's edit really changes the whole dynamic of the story now. As you guys know, I don't read these stories before I record them to give you the most genuine commentary possible. So let's move on to the update to see how this thing continued. "My wife cheated with another woman and I caught her. I wanted to reconcile our marriage, but obviously her heart wasn't in it. I spied on her and kicked her out when I caught her talking to her girlfriend again. 2 weeks after I kicked her out, I was deeply heartbroken and didn't know how I would make it. I absolutely hated being alone in my apartment. Had so many mixed emotions. I started writing down my thoughts and found that journaling helped ease my mind. I started walking just to get out of the house. Now I walk for my health. I told my family and friends a few days after I kicked her out. They were very supportive and really helped me through this. At first, I still wanted my marriage to work out. I thought my wife is in what's called limerence. I thought she would snap out of it. But what really allowed me to give up is when she met up with her girlfriend. I gave up on her after that. Felt like a big weight lifted off my heart. I'm okay with being alone. We are getting divorced. We both agreed to it. We are on speaking terms, but only about things pertaining to divorce or her belongings. By the way, we have no kids, thankfully. I plan on moving after the divorce and focusing on my career." Well, OP, the good thing about this whole thing is that you guys didn't have a family and it's just dividing assets at this point. Maybe if you bought a house or something. In any case, it's good that this relationship is over because your wife needs to figure out what she likes and what she doesn't like and who she is, right? And you now get to focus on yourself, focus on your career, and move forward. The good thing now is that you're okay with being alone and you have something to focus on. So all the best, OP, and take care. And so we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Also, if you feel like chatting with others from this community, you can always join my Discord server and check out my subreddit. I'll leave the links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video.